Hello, my dear students. I welcome you all to our English virtual class. Today, we would be discussing a new lesson, which is a part of your prose titled A Simple Philosophy, written by Chief Seattle. Okay, now this lesson, you will find it in page number 109. Page 109, chapter 7. Once again, A Simple Philosophy by Chief Seattle. We will discuss how a letter that has been written long back is still applied to us very perfectly. This is all about the protection of environment, as we know that it is degrading day by day, year after year. Now, let's see the next slide. Chief Seattle, chief of the Native American Suquamish tribe. Now, this is a very rare picture of the chief of the tribals, that is the Suquamish tribe. Okay, now this chief, he is the person who wrote the letter to the president of USA. Okay, so here you can have a glimpse of his attire. You can have a look at the way he dressed, like his dress. You can have a look at his dress. It's purely tribal, okay, like the way the tribals used to dress, like we Nagas, right? It looks a little bit similar with Nagas, right? With the headgear, you can see. So here is another picture of Chief Seattle, as you can see. Okay, I think you have seen. So this letter has been written by a chief of a tribe, and you know what is a tribe, right? So the chief of a tribe writes to the president, who is or was considered to be much more well educated than the tribals. But we will see the different mindsets of this two group of people. This story will deal with how the tribals considered nature to be their friend, who is so closely related with them, whereas, on the other hand, we will also find the so-called advanced group of people who would just keep the environment for their self-benefit, without considering the future that is ahead of them. So here, students, I will not be explaining all the words in detail from a textbook, okay? But I strongly recommend you to read your textbook whenever you study. You cannot do justice to a story without referring to the text. But it does not mean that you have to keep looking in your book again and again every time I explain. Because while explanations are going on, I want you to stay focused so that your attention will not be divided. Okay, so let's start the lesson. In 1860, Seattle, the chief of the Native American Suquamish tribe, addressed a letter to President Franklin Pierce of the United States. The white people who had settled their colonies were taking over more and more land from Native American tribes. In this letter, Chief Seattle expresses concern of the Native Americans, earlier known as Red Indians, about the wish of the president to buy their land. He also explains their philosophy that protects the natural environment. He indirectly warns the white people that their excessive greed for natural resource will bring trouble to all the people. So here we'll be discussing about an Indian American chief. We have heard about Indian American, or we can say the Red Indians. I believe all of you have heard about the Red Indians. So who are the Red Indians? This group of people are considered to they are considered to be the Native Americans. Native means, what is the meaning of native? It means people who originally belong to America. Okay, Native Americans means people who originally belong to America, but they are becoming the lesser group or the minority in number in the present day. Many of the minor groups are getting lost because of colonization and industrialization that is taking place. The chief receives a letter from American President Franklin Pierce. He was the president in the year 1860. In those days, he wrote a letter to the chief of a tribe. Since most of us are from Nagaland and we are tribal people, right? So I feel that I need not to explain what tribal is, because you all know that who are tribals, right? So the letter was about buying their land. The president wanted to buy the particular land where the Native Americans were living. He wants to buy it, so he sends greetings, and as expected, his letter was in such a polite way that the chief of the tribe could not understand it at first, because they were always considered to be the inferior group. Okay, so the chief really wants to know their intention, that is the white people's, the white people's intentions, why he was addressed in such a polite, why the Native Americans, they really wanted to know why the white people, the advanced group, why they are writing letter, like why they're writing the letter in such a polite way. They were really curious. So they really wanted to know the intentions, why they were addressing them in such a polite way. And the president said that he wanted to have friendship with these tribes. He knew very well that he means the chief, the chief of the tribals, Chief Seattle. He knew very well that these advanced people, that is the white Americans, these advanced people can survive without the help of the tribals, that is the Native Americans. But he also understood the underlying message why this letter was given to him. It is because they want to take the advantage of the tribal people. So the chief knows that it is for a purpose only. This letter was given in such a way that they wanted to maintain a good relationship, but the chief knew that there was some, there were some motive, some hidden agenda or some hidden intentions, motive behind their friendship, which was not revealed in the letter. But